Tzvi Lebetkin, the rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And this has been a day of miracles for me. Actually, it really has. If you watched my my segment yesterday in this series, I talked a lot about my computer dying. Completely dying. It was dead, right? It was not going to come back to life. This morning it came back to life. I'm recording this on my computer again. It's much later. It made me update to the latest operating system, which it only came out a couple of weeks ago, which just always makes your system drag a little bit. But it seems to be all working. So what can we learn from this? What can we learn from this? Well, again, I think both Passover and Easter have a similar theme of rebirth, renewal, and on a personal level, on a national level for Passover. I think that's the basic vibe, right? The basic vibe. But also, of course, with Christianity, it's when Jesus was resurrected. So again, very, very much rebirth. But if you just look outside your window, right, you'll see something incredible. You'll see things that were dead coming back to life. You'll see it everywhere. Look at the trees, right? And like right now in Israel, the trees are covered in blossom. It is beautiful beyond beautiful. Actually, it's so freaking hot today. It's like we're having a Humson. It was unbelievably hot today. And I took the dog out for a walk, right? But yeah, we saw things like dead trees. Those trees in the winter look dead. It looks like they're not coming back to life. And then they come back to life. And I think that's kind of a generally important lesson that we should really be taking with us. Anyway, this series is, what am I calling it again? I can't remember. I did all this on my laptop yesterday, so I have to redo the thumbnail to find it. Well, what do I call it? Connecting the Infinite. This is a series about how to maximize one's personal connection with God, which is, generally speaking, quite a good thing to have. If you want to read along, you can get this book, The 6 Constant Mitzvahs. A mitzvah is a commandment. It's one of the commandments in the Old Testament. But the basic point of these commandments is to have a closer connection to God. So there's 6 of them that you do all the time, right? 6 of them that you do as a worldview, as that just keep going, because it's what your premises of your understanding of life are completely based on. So we're going to be going over each 6 of these commandments in detail. I'm trying to work out a way of best utilizing them to connect to the infinite, right? To connect to the infinite, which is the goal. That is the absolute goal. Before we get into it, can you hit the like button? That'd be very, very nice. I'm not doing this as live, by the way, because I'm just making sure all the software's working, right? I've finally got my Adobe Premiere opened up, so I'm like, okay, it seems to be my computer. And again, it was dead. Now it's alive. Okay, I think fits very, very nicely into the time. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you think. Sign up to my Substack. Sign up to my paid Substack. I can't think of good reasons for you doing either, but just do it anyway. That'd be very, very nice. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Substack. I think we covered everything. Apart from one more thing, the reason I'm doing this right now is there's a 49-day period, a 7-week period going from Passover to Shavuot, the holiday of Shavuos, if you're more of the Ashkenazi descent. So in basically you in this 7-week period you can grow a day, right? You can grow every day, and if you put the effort in, you put a micro bit of effort in, the good Lord will extend a helping hand. And I've seen this personally play out in my life, which is why I'm doing this. Also, I was really grumpy about just the headaches I was having yesterday, and honestly, that's a good reason to teach this sort of thing over. It lifts you up, right? But the reason to teach, other than it helps the other person, it helps you, right? It helps you. Fine. So we are on day 2. We're in the page. Was it 43? Right? Page 43. Oh yeah, that's the cover. Page 43. This is from a series of lectures by Rabbi Yitzhak Berkowitz, who actually I know personally. So, well, I knew personally, I haven't spoken to him for years. He's like this super genius Jewish legal mind, right? Like a super. I would absolutely call this guy a super genius. And he used to teach the kind of a beginning Jewish law class in rabbinical seminary, and whenever you wanted to get him whenever you weren't in the mood for working that hard and you wanted to like get him off track, ask him an interesting question, and he would always go. So like one time I asked him like how would vampires how would they come to the light, right? How would let's say a vampire decides that he believes in God, what's he going to do? He needs to, eat blood to survive. Reb Berkowitz said fish blood, because fish blood apparently isn't not kosher from the Bible. I think it's a lesser degree of not being kosher. That's going right in. So anyway, it's from a series of lectures that was written up about them. When the Egyptians divided a plan to subjugate the Jews, by the way, you want to see a really chilling movie? It's called, oh man, what was it called? Now I can't remember the name of it. Kenneth Branagh starred in it. It was about this little enclave, the naughty National Socialists from Germany in the 1930s ended up in. Where they went to decide what to do with the Jews, right? It's where they came up with the final solution. Quite chilling. So anyway, so the Egyptians did something pretty similar a couple of thousand years earlier. What should we do with these Israelites? They're a bit of a pain in the ass. So it says a new king arose, one who did not know Joseph. The verse implies that had Pharaoh known Joseph, he wouldn't have enslaved Joseph's nation, right? Joseph had single-handedly built the Egyptian economy and demanded nothing in return. Well, that's not entirely true. Not demanded nothing in return. In fact, I've heard, who was it? Rabbi Ari Khan. He gives an interesting explanation that the reason the Jews ended up in slavery, the Israelites ended up in slavery, and being disenfranchised, because that's essentially what Joseph did to the land of Egypt, right? He waited till everybody was starving to death, because he had 7 years of fat, 7 years of lean. He waited until, and then everybody became a slave to the state, and then he relocated everybody in different areas, so everybody felt like they're starting over. He essentially made the entire nation into slaves, right? And he did that because made population control much easier for Pharaoh. So I would say nothing in return. I mean, also he got this piece of land, Goshen, which he gave to his family. His brothers came to Egypt with the sole intention of devoting themselves to the. His brother came in with the sole intention of devoting themselves to the service of God. No, they came to Egypt to look for food. And but they weren't looking for Joseph, right? They kind of should have. You know what? You know why the brothers didn't look for Joseph? It's exactly the same reason that people today can't conceive of Biden being worse than Trump. I mean, like, if they're one of the Trump derangement syndrome crazes, they just can't conceive of the idea. Or I listened to a Space 1999 played by Big Finish talk. Basically, it was a thinly veiled allegory about Brexit, and they couldn't conceive that it wasn't the worst idea ever. Same way that the brothers couldn't conceive that Joseph wasn't out to kill them. Right? They thought he was absolutely gunning for them. So that's why they didn't look for him when they went when they went down to Egypt for food. They would have been willing to volunteer their services had the country needed them, but they preferred to remain in Goshen and focus on loftier pursuits. Yeah, again, I'm whatever, fine. I'm not going to like tear them apart on each part here. There was neither a moral justification or political need to enslave them. Yet this new pharaoh decided to do just that. Again, we see that the disconnect from reality in modern politics, right? White supremacists are the biggest threat to America. No, they're not. What, all 7 of them? So a rabbi commentating on this, Rabbi Shimon Islis, better known as Rashi, says, a new king arose. Said he wasn't really a new king at all. He says the same Pharaoh who had named Joseph his viceroy now wanted to enslave the Jews. Well, that may be about 200 years later. I think it's weird. The king wasn't new. The idea of him not knowing Joseph is absurd. He was he completely upended the entirety of Egyptian society. the old decrees made Joseph II commander of Egypt and showed appreciation for Joseph's family. New decrees said the Jews were subversive and they had better enslave them before they drive us out the land. And again, it's so much easier to understand in 2022, right? When we had, was it the Prime Minister of Canada saying with complete impunity, lying his asses off about people who drive trucks and didn't want to starve to death, right? Like, absolutely lying his ass. It doesn't matter, right? We're really living in very biblical times, I think. What does it mean the king did not know? Did he suffer from amnesia? Rush explains that he pretended not to know, but God did not use poetic license in choosing the words of the Bible. It seems something about Pharaoh's behavior that indicated a genuine lack of knowledge, right? In describing Pharaoh's behavior this way, the Bible is imparting an important message. Pray tell, what is that important message? If you can ignore something, you don't really know it. And you don't really understand it, and you haven't really internalized it. If Pharaoh was able to ignore all that Joseph had done for his country, it meant he never really knew him. I think it's more likely this was like a second or third generation afterwards, and didn't know Pharaoh, right? And again, it's this in the same way. These idiot children, they have no idea what freedom of speech means, right? They had no idea how taking that away will destroy freedom and democracy, which is what we've seen, because they're idiot children, right? They didn't know what came before them because they only grew up in their rarefied little world. If Pharaoh was able to ignore Joseph and everything he'd done for the country, and he never really knew him, had he really known Joseph in the years that he had been viceroy, Pharaoh would never have done what he did. Excuse me, no. Have you met politicians? Yeah, they're all scum. This failing exists in each of us to some extent or another. Mainly politicians. Let's be clear. Mainly politicians. Study and witness things. We study and witness things. We even talk about how to write them without really knowing them. Okay, what's he talking about? A cab driver was driving Rabbi Ezekiel Levenstein, Miskir of Mir in Europe. Okay, a big-time rabbi, related that once he had witnessed an open miracle. When secular Israelis finish their army service, they typically unwind by touring some exotic location. Thailand's a big one, right? So, after his discharge, when it says secular Israelis, it's a real shame. The person who wrote this really is very anti the Haredim, the people who wear the black hats and the shirt going in the army, and I just find it such a tragedy, right? It's been 2,000 years, coming up to 2,000 years that there's been a Jewish army in a Jewish state in what we call the Holy Land, right? And it's if you've read the Bible, the essence of it is unity, right? Jewish. And it's just an incredible chance to be unified. And the Israeli army is incredible, right? There's a place for everyone there. There's a Down syndrome unit. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And everyone's really, everybody really hates it as well. Everybody hates doing their army service, but everybody feels very, very good about serving, right? And it's a good thing, right? It's good for you. It's not just secular Israelis. In fact, my younger daughter did the army. Rather than a thing called Shirut Leumi, which is like national service. Very glad that she did it. It was really, really good for her. So one went on tour of mountains of Africa. One night they woke and they heard one of their friends screaming in terror. A boy was wrapped around by a boa constrictor, which was squeezing him to death. Well, that seems like that's something that will make your evening go badly. They had no idea how to free their friend, and they were afraid to do anything to the snake for fear it would antagonize and squeeze harder. Yeah. Facing what seemed to be the inevitable, a member of the group told his friends, I know when Jews are about to die, they recite the Shema. You should do it now. Blimey! The Shema is like a prayer we say twice a day. It's kind of a fundamental thing. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is God, the Lord is one, is the English translation of it. As soon as the Exodus screamed, Shema Yisrael, Shem Elokeinu, Shem Echad, which is how you say it in Hebrew, the snake unwound itself and slithered away into the night. That miracle changed my friend's life, the cab driver concluded. He went directly back to Israel and now is thoroughly religious Jew. And what about you, Rav Yeziko asked. Me, the driver said the Rav doesn't understand. The snake wasn't wrapped around me, it was wrapped around my friend. Fine, so this story demonstrates that a person can see something without understanding it. Yeah, I'm recording this on my computer. I've seen the picture's frozen a few times. It's going to take a little bit of time to run in. But again, this thing was dead and now it's alive again. It was a huge pain in the ass. I've lost a ton of data. It's all back. I see it's frozen again now. So this story demonstrates that the person can see something without understanding it and something without really knowing it. We hope that most of us learn a lesson from our friends' brush with death, but without having to undergo the experience ourselves. But to some extent, we have a gap between what we study and what we succeed in internalizing. In studying the six constant... Finally, they're getting to a point. Okay, fine. In studying the six constant mitzvahs, it's important to develop an internal awareness as a basis for the fulfillment of these commandments, right? We must keep reviewing them, however, to gain a deeper perspective that will enable us to close the gap between the logical knowledge of the commandments and having the knowledge reflected in our action on a constant basis. Fine. So this was part 2 of the 6 constant mitzvahs. We only got 47 parts to go. Okay, only 47 parts to go. Join me every day. I'm going to be doing this every day because this is the period of time we're in. The Omer where you count the days. Actually, but there's a blessing you say. You count the days. But more importantly, make the days count, right? Make the days count. My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. Yeah!